Hi guys, a very warm welcome, and in this video I'll be showing you how we can work on the Elastic file system. So you can see that I have logged in into my AWS account in the Oregon region, and I'll just search for the EFS file system, and here you can see manage file storage for EC2. We just have to click on the EFS. So here we need to create a file system, guys, and one thing that when we work on the EFS, it can only be used with the Linux EC2 instances. It cannot be used with the Windows EC2 instances. So in case if you want to use the file system for Windows EC2 instances, then there is a separate service that the AWS has introduced, which is called as an Amazon FSx. That is primarily used for the file system, that is primarily used as a file system for Windows instances. So Elastic file system, first of all, what we need to do, we have to create a file system, and we just have to click on create a file system, provide a name to the file system. Let's say I put something like cloud EFS, and the VPC that I'm going to create this EFS in would be the default VPC. So here the file system is created, and also with the file system we would require two EC2 instances in the different availability zone. And I'll be showing you how we can mount both the instances with this file system and how we can basically access or share the files that are stored in this EFS. Let's look into it. So I'm just going to create two EC2 instances, and then we are going to see the steps to mount on this file system. So guys, here you can see there are two instances that are in a running state. Instance 1 in the availability zone 2B and instance 2 in the availability zone 2A. So we are going to use these instances and we are going to mount it with the file system that we have created in the EFS. So I'll just move to the file system, EFS, and here you can see the file system is also created, and we just have to click on the file system ID. And here once we go to the file system ID, under the network, when you select the network here, you get the mount targets. So generally, if you have to mount the instances with this EFS, so we need to select the target as the private IP address of the mount target. So for example, let's say if our instance is in US West 2A, so the mount target is going to be this private IP. If our instance is in US West 2B, then the mount target is going to be this one. Alright. So I have already opened some steps that you can follow from the AWS documentation, and that would help you to mount your instances with the EFS. So both the instances that I have created, they are on Amazon Linux AMI. So first of all, what we need to do is I need to connect to one of the instance, and then we are going to follow the steps mentioned in the document. So I'll first connect to the instance 1 using the web connect only. So here you can see that I have connected to the instance. So these are the steps that we need to follow, and we need to create a directory with the name EFS-mount-point, or any name you can provide to the directory. It is not necessary that you have to provide this name only. But before that, we need to see that whether our instance is updated or not. So I'm just going to check sudo yum y update and see whether the instance is updated. So let's run it. Sudo yum -y update, and it says nothing to do. It's already updated. Then we need to install the NFS client also, because through the NFS client only we can connect to, or we can mount to the EFS. So I'll just copy this command and directly paste it here. It says NFS utils are also existing in this Amazon Linux version. So now we are going to create a directory, and we'll just paste it here. As I mentioned, you can change the mount point directory name also, it's up to you. And if I do ls, you can see EFS mount point directory is created. Now we are going to mount the EFS system, and this is the command. What we need to ensure is that in the mount target DNS, it will be replaced with the private IP. And the private IP of the file system network based on the availability zone from where we are trying to connect to the EFS. So what we'll do, we'll just copy this command, paste it on the notepad, and then we are going to edit it. So here is the command that I have pasted on the notepad, and we just have to replace this mount target DNS with the private IP of the file system network. So I'll just move to the file system, and already in the network, I'm trying to connect from the US West 2B instance. I'm trying to connect from the instance that is in the US West 2B availability zone. So the mount target is going to be this one, this IP address. So I'm just going to copy this IP, and then instead of mount target DNS, we'll put this IP. Copy the command and then paste it on the instance. We also need to ensure the security group. So first I'm just going to paste this command, and if we are not able to connect it, we are just going to see the security group of the EFS as well, because we need to open up the ports on the EFS as well for the inbound traffic. So I'm not able to mount it. It doesn't put me on a different command line. Hence it is trying to mount to the EFS, but this is not happening. The reason is because the EFS security group are not allowing the connection. So what we need to ensure is, we have to go to the EFS and we need to find the security group of this EFS, which is this one. Copy the security group, and we need to open up the security group. We can open it up from the EC2 dashboard itself. So I'll just move to the EC2, and from here I'll open up that security group. So here you can see this is an EC2 dashboard. Click on the security groups and search for the security group that is associated with the Elastic file system. Yeah, this is the one, 9AA3. And on the security group inbound rule, we need to ensure that the EFS port is open. And since EFS also is a file storage, so we need to ensure that it is not open for every IP address. So EFS port is NFS only, and here you can see I have already opened the security group for other EFS that I have created. So here I am going to add a rule, and I'll search for the network file system port, NFS port, which is 2049, and I'm going to open it up for the private IP of my instance, which is 172.3.128.137. 172.3.128.137/32. Alright, 172.3.128.137. Save the rule. And once the inbound rule is updated, I'm going to try the mounting again. So I'll just use this command, and here you can see that it has mounted my instance with the EFS. Now the next thing is, I have this directory, so I'll just move to this directory, cd EFS mount point. So I'll just type this directory name, or we can copy paste it also, that's fine. Alright, so we'll just make a space here, cd EFS mount point. So here you can see that I am in the EFS mount point directory. So here I'm going to create a file, and first of all we need to move to the root user. So I'll just type sudo su, and then nano index.html file we'll create, and let's type a content. This is EFS system control X, Y. Now if I do ls in this directory, we have the index.html file created. This is stored in the EFS only. Now I'm going to use a second instance which is created in a different availability zone. Same way I'm going to mount it with the EFS also. and then from that second instance we'll be able to view this file in this particular directory, which is basically stored in the EFS. Let's look into it. So I'm connecting to the instance 2 in the availability zone 2A, and from this instance we are just going to follow the same steps. So let's first create a directory in this instance. So we'll use the same name of the directory, copy the command, paste it here, ls, and here we can find the directory. Now we are going to use the same command, but we are going to change the target IP, because it's now we are trying to access the EFS from the instance created in the availability zone 2A. So I'll move to the file system, find the mount target point for the availability zone 2A. Let's wait for it. Yeah, here it is. This is going to be the IP address, and we are going to change it in our command syntax. Also, we need to ensure that on the security group inbound rule, the NFS port is open for this instance traffic as well. So we'll just move to the security group of this EFS also, and we'll just add the inbound rule for the NFS port as well. So I'll just move to the EC2 dashboard, and from there we'll try to access the security group. Yes, this is the one, 9AA3, and we are going to open up the inbound rule for that. Click on edit inbound rules. We need to add a rule for the for this instance traffic, which is in the availability zone 2A, and we need to open up the NFS port only. So I'll just select NFS port 2049, and the IP address we'll find it from here, 172.3.1.4.4.86. 172.3.1.4.4.86/32. Save it, and then I'm just going to copy and paste this command in our instance. It has mounted to the EFS. We'll move to the EFS directory, which is EFS-mount-point, and if I do ls, I would have this index.html file. So you can see that on the EFS I created this index.html file from another instance, from the previous instance, which was created in the availability zone 2B, and I can access this same file from the instance created in the availability zone 2A. So that means the file system is working correctly. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Bye.